This is Capital Games, I am the Wiz, and this is the Weekly Dividend for March 24th, 2023. Yeah, I know. It's when you're seeing this right now, it is the 26th. It's Sunday, it's not Friday. I'm 2 days late. Why is that? Well, unfortunately on Friday before the recording, I got sick, and I really wasn't feeling great, and I wasn't feeling great Saturday that much either. This is like the first I felt okay for the past couple days, so I thought I would knock this out for you guys. So I apologize for it being 2 days late. Hopefully this won't happen again, but yeah, I had a good excuse, I think, but anyway, what can you do at this point? So yeah, right now I am right now on the Diablo IV Open Beta, and I haven't played it yet, and I'm on the last day, so I definitely want to get started on this. So why don't we choose a character? I'm partial to Druid, even though I've heard this character is kind of messed up right now. Maybe not in the best shape, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. So let's do Druid at this point. Okay, and while we're doing that, oh yeah, he's a beefy boy. Look at that. While we're doing that, why don't we get into what I think is probably the big story of this week, and it of course has to do with the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition. And it is that the UK's Regulatory Board, the CMA, says that the Activision merger won't significantly lessen competition in the console gaming space. So, this is, I guess this has been a long time coming. I know Zero has been saying it, I've been saying it for a while, but this is probably where it was going to lead down to. And I understand why a lot of people were thinking that it could have been a possibility that this may not go into Microsoft's favor. But with some of the things that have been talked about with the CMA and everything, ooh, that's a nice beard. Man, that beard don't look that good. Not gonna lie, that's not a good-looking beard. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so with the things that have been going on with what was said during closed-door sessions with the CMA, and questions that some regulatory boards have had, and in regards to why certain entities like the FTC have problems with this. This kind of seemed like the inevitable outcome, at least to me. I know a lot of people did not think that and still have an issue with this merger going through. But in regards to how the industry itself has been, I guess, regulated and been working for a long time now, it did seem kind of silly that it led to this point. But then again, as Jim Ryan said in the, according to a Activision executive, what Jim Ryan said was basically he wasn't interested in making any kind of, any business deals. He just wanted to block the merger, just to block the merger, essentially. So, I don't know if that is what led them to, I don't want any tattoos. I don't know if that's why it led them to actually go this route. But, yeah, at this point, this doesn't surprise me. Well, we'll call you Wiz Beta. Not that I am Beta. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But, yeah, I mean, this doesn't surprise me, really. And this is what I was kind of thinking was going to happen as the time went on. So, yeah, and with the UK, and the CMA was the one that I think a lot of people were thinking that, yeah, we'll get some guidance, I guess. And you know what? I'm not really interested right now in a challenge. Let's do the adventurer part. So the CMA was the one that some financial experts were thinking that might be the one that caused the problem, and now that it looks like it's not going to have any problem with this, it's pretty much looking like now that it's probably going to be smooth sailing, unless the FTC finds something that that lets the judge think that they should move forward with the lawsuit. So at this point, I mean, I think they're going to have their decision in June. I would say by August, September, we'll have the whole thing finalized, in my opinion, at least. Not that I'm a financial expert or an expert in that field, but that's what it seems like to me at this point. With that said, let's also go to what Microsoft said in regards to Sony. And basically, Sony has been trying to get what it sounds like is, if this is not going to go through, they're going to want to get a long-term deal. And I mean long-term deal, as long as humanly possible. And Microsoft's pretty much put their foot down and said, you know what? 10 years is enough. Basically, it's 10 years is sufficient for Sony to make a COD competitor at this point. So, yeah. And I do agree with that. It might take less. I mean, it's not even... Well, they do have Destiny, so they could definitely do that. But also, we've discussed this on the podcast, too. At any point, they can go ahead and go, hey, EA, why don't we give you X amount of money and we'll make Battlefield exclusive to PlayStation? Or maybe you can make Medal of Honor. Or, you know, what? Oh, whoa. Okay. That's grisly. Ooh, it's dark. Or, like I said, like, they can go a number of routes with this. So, I think 10 is more than enough for them to find a competitor when it comes to this. So, yeah, at this point, it is looking like, now that the CMA and other regs are looking at it, going, this is not too bad. It looks like Microsoft is pretty much putting their foot down now as you're going to take the 10 years or piss off at this point. So we'll see what happens then. We're going to see more deals coming up the pipeline, I think, as time goes on. I mean, Microsoft also did deals with a bunch of cloud services. Did with NVIDIA, with Nintendo. So 10 years seems to be the year that they're going to be doing here. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. So, Diablo IV Beta crashed on me. Okay. You know what? I had another game in mind. I don't want to try and do Diablo IV Beta again. So, I had another game in mind. Why don't we play that? I'm going to load it up right now. It's going to be very much unlike the Diablo IV Beta. But, unfortunately, I'm not going to risk it again. This, lower that. Sorry, guys. Wow, this didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to. Okay, so, new plan. Moving forward, we're going to be playing the game Sir Lovelot. I got this on Steam at on the spring sale. I think this was about $5. It looked interesting, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I think this is a platformer, if I recall correctly. I got it for cheap. Like I said, I got it for cheap. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So, yeah. We'll give this a shot here. Oh, it's like a Super Meat Boy kind of game. Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, it's got a duck. How about that? So, what do you do? Oh, okay. So it's kind of Super Meat Boy-ish. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, it's looking like now that Microsoft's going to start putting their foot down and saying, okay, you know, this is the deal, take it or leave it. Which, I guess good on them at this point. Moving on to the next story, CSGO tops all-time player count for the entirety of its existence after the Counter-Strike 2 announcement. So yeah, Counter-Strike 2 was announced this week. So Counter-Strike 2 was announced this week, and it looks to be coming in June, I believe. So that will be interesting when that happens. And already it's getting a lot of buzz. It looks like the right people got to check it out, which I believe it was a bunch of pros who play Counter-Strike got to watch it or play it in private months ago. I don't know exactly when, but they got the chances to play the game, so they are happy with what it looks like right now. So, oh, what did I do here? So yeah, it looks like, will this work? I guess that works. Huh. So I guess CSGO, CS2 is what it's now called. Let's try that again. Counter-Strike 2 looks to be making. Oh, there we go. Oh, that wasn't smart. So CS2 seems to be boosting the popularity of Counter-Strike Go for the meantime, as people are awaiting more information or the release of CS2. Now, CSGO has been a game that's been around for a long time. I remember that they released that for the for PS3. Ooh, that's not good. For PS3 and 360, as well as as a PC at that time as well. I believe so. So, oh, I didn't know you could kill them. That would have helped. Yeah, I wish I would have known that. Oh, there's spikes. So that is, that's interesting. I mean, not surprising either. That usually happens, I think, with games that are announced with sequels. Suddenly, the older game that was very popular at the time starts getting a lot more popularity, suddenly because people become hyped and they become interested in what happens for that game. So, yeah, that's interesting. Good to know on that one. So, CSGO is getting more popularity now that CS2 was announced. Okay, so here is, and let me do this level, and then I will do the next one. This one, I want to talk a little bit in depth about. Let's see if I can get through this without any problems. Alright. Yeah, I will say this about this game right now, is that it looks charming, but with how detailed the background is, your character gets lost a little bit. So, now that it's dark in this scene, it's better, but I'm looking at it right now. Like, when it gets light, and the way your character looks, it kind of blends into the background. So, okay. Let's move on to the next story here. Famed scriptwriter for games writer Chris Avellone received 7-figure settlement from sexual harassment claims done by 2 women that were claiming that he was a yeah. Okay, so let me get to the story here. So this is from VGC, Video Games Chronicle. Prominent video game writer Chris Avellone has settled a lawsuit against 2 women who had publicly accused him of sexual misconduct and claimed that he has been awarded a 7-figure settlement. Avellone, who has previously worked on games such as Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order, was accused in a series of June 2020 Twitter posts by the women as being an abrasive, abusive, conniving sexual predator. After these allegations arose, multiple developers cut ties with him, notably the Dying Light 2 developers Techland. A year later, Avellone announced that he was taking legal action against the 2 women in the case of libel, and it looks like after this, the case has been settled. Saturday, it was announced on his personal blog that the claims have been dismissed with prejudice, and that he is to receive a 7-figure settlement, which includes his attorney fees. The 2 women, named Carissa Barrows and Kelly Ray Bristol, have also released a joint statement claiming that their public statements have been misinterpreted, which is legal. Well, which, lawyers, when you settle these types of cases, that's what lawyers tell you to do right away, is to say it was either misinterpreted, or that we misspoke, or what we were claiming to say was not what was actually said, things like that. They say in the statement, Mr. Avellone never sexually abused either of us. The signed statement says from these 2 ladies, we have no knowledge that there has ever been he's ever sexually abused any women. We have no knowledge that Mr. Avellone has ever misused corporate funds. Anything we have previously said or written about Mr. Avellone to the contrary was not our intent. So, I wanted to talk about this. First off, it's good that he was able to clear his name. Hopefully he'll be able to get work. As for the women that were, I believe these were journalists. I'm not entirely sure if these were people in the industry. But with this case itself, I hope this teaches a lot of people a lesson, especially online, when it comes to things like this. Because a lot of people like to throw out all these terms like abuser, predator, groomer, all this stuff that is pretty defamatory, that if people take seriously, that can ruin them. And this, I would say it's more of a cautionary tale at this point, where what you say online could hurt you in the end, if you don't have the proof to back it all up. And this is what these ladies didn't have. They said these derogatory things about this person who ended up losing a lucrative career from this. And then when it was time to put up or shut up, they couldn't do anything because they didn't have any proof. So, on the one hand, like, I'm happy that this guy got his name cleared, but then this is also for people that did deal with abuse by those who were abusers. Not saying Chris Avellone was, clearly it doesn't look like it was this, but this makes it so much harder for people to come forward when it comes to these types of issues. These are things that always annoyed me with the online activism with this stuff, that is good intention to a certain extent, but then they get into witch hunts and they get into these smearing tactics, and then it just defeats the purpose of the entire thing when it comes to it. So at this point, again, I'm of two minds of this. I'm glad he was able to have them pretty much say that what they said was false, and that he's going to get compensated for what they did. How these people are going to get that money is going to be an interesting question. I don't know if they're, they're journalists. I don't know if they're journalists or not, but they're journalists. I would have to imagine their papers were also sued. So their papers are probably going to have to pay for that too. But again, I don't know if that is their job or not, so I'm not sure on that. But anyway, I mean, this is going to be a lesson to a lot of people. This one, like, if you have credible claims, go through the legal channels to do it. Otherwise, if you just use Twitter as your way of dispensing justice, this could very well happen to you. Someone with a little bit of credibility and is able to fight the case will say, "Oh yeah, prove it," and then if you can't do it, you're screwed at that point. So, yeah. I'm glad that this guy was able to clear his name as best as he could in this. Hopefully this learns a lesson to a lot of these online activists that, this kind of thing could happen to you at any point. So if you have something to lose, maybe be a lot more careful with your words. But yeah. Yeah, I'm of multiple ways on this. Like, this not only... This is going to hurt people who want to step forward on something that happened to them that was deeply troubling. But they're going to have this in the back of their heads, too, that they're going to have to deal with. So, I'm just not... This is not something I like. I am glad that these women have to pay for what wrong they did in this, and they're admitting that they were wrong. But to have it lead up to this is sad, and it's only going to hurt more people when it comes. So, anyway, let's move on. The Resident Evil 4 remake attracts 125,000 PC players on day one. 125,000. On PC. Now, PC, unless it's a PC exclusive, doesn't usually bring up none of those types of numbers. So, if it's 125 on PC day one, I don't think there was a real possibility that we might find in the first week that their sales could be, 2 million? I would say? I think 2 million is reasonable. Oh, no. Yeah, I think 2 million is reasonable for right now. We don't know what the sales figures are for the console, so I'm guessing on this one, but I would say I would not be surprised if we come to find 2 million is what the sales numbers are for the first week. But if it's really impressive, we'll find out from Capcom. So, 125,000 on PC, first day, not bad. That's pretty impressive, and I got killed. Let's see where we go from here. Oh! Yeah, this game is fine, but the color palette on this is... Uh-oh. I mean, these are the type of games I do enjoy. I do like these type of games. But, I mean... As much as I do like it, the controls pretty good. Yeah. It controls alright, but the color palette on this. Although it looks nice. Oh god. It looks nice. But yeah. Snake. It looks nice, but it does blend in a little too much, and that can cause problems in some aspects of the game, since the controls and the platform is so tight. So, yeah, I'm not... I do like the look of this. I will say that, but... Uh-oh. Yeah, alright. Oh, no. What we got? There we go. Alright, here we go. They're all gem coins. Okay. Let's move on to the next story here. Atari acquires retro remaster specialist Night Dive Studios. Night Dive, did they do the Atari 50 collection? I'm not sure if they did. I thought that was a Digital Eclipse joint. Let me find out real quick what Night Dive has done. I mean, I will say this. If it leads Atari to do more of stuff like that, I mean, that's a great acquisition, but that would be kind of weird because they already did like what I think would be the ultimate collection with the Atari 50 collection. So I don't, but unless they're trying to do remasters of their older games and expand on it more, if they're gonna have like a Yar's Revenge MMO, please don't do that. But or something along those lines. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, so they acquired it for $10 million, 5 in cash, 5 in Atari shares. I don't know how much that's going to be worth. So I don't know how. I don't know how that's going to work out for you. But yeah. Yeah, so most recent Night Dive ports have been Turok Dinosaur Hunter, Turok Seeds of Evil, Forsaken Remastered, Doom 64, Quake, Shadow Man Remastered, Power Slam Exhumed, and System Shock Enhanced Edition. They're currently working on remasters of System Shock 2, Rise of the Triad, and Sin. Sin, okay, wow, that's a name I haven't heard for in a while. So I guess what this looks like is going to happen is that this company is going to take, I would probably guess, more of Atari's 16 and 32-bit games and probably remaster those and get them re-released. Although I got to be honest with you, between me and you guys, I'm not entirely sure what that Atari has that would really necessitate the need to buy an entire studio to do it. That's kind of weird, but okay. I mean, they're making a business plan. I guess that's better than what they've been doing for a while now. So it's been looking like that. Jesus. It's been looking like that the decisions they've been making for all these games have not been, or for business plans for like Atari has not been great. They were at first going to do like a bunch of merchandise. Then they started doing hotels for some strange reason. Uh-oh. Okay. So yeah, I guess it's interesting, but I'm really curious as to what they're gonna do with this. like, I guess it's gonna be they're gonna remaster a bunch of their older games, and Night Dive will probably be the ones that will be doing it. But I don't know. That to me, that's like, I guess they have a decent enough track record that they would want to buy the studio outright. But even then, like, is that going to be their entire? Is that their entire business plan at this point? Is to just remake and remaster all of their old games and hopefully mine that IP to develop something new? I don't know what the business plan is with this. So I guess if it's for like some side projects, that's interesting. That'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know what this will mean long term for Atari. Moving on to the next one, Arcane is looking to remove always online requirement from Redfall. This does not mean that it's going to be off when you purchase or play the game on Game Pass. They are looking to do it after launch. But, okay. I mean, if they can figure out a way to make people happy and do that, okay. I mean, nothing bad about that. A lot of people were not happy when they found out that it was always online. A criticism that more and more nowadays I'm kind of being more puzzled by. Okay, sure. But, yeah, I mean, that's cool, I guess. I mean, look. I know a lot of people, a lot of the gaming community has an issue with always online. Or there are reasons not to want that. I get it, but on the other hand, I mean, like I discussed with Zero a while back, there might be a good reason why it is always online, even though there is a single player component to it. And oh, come on. Oh God. And to just be and to be like, oh, always online, I hate it. I mean, we don't know whether it actually is a good use of it at this point. I mean, if we took away always online out of Destiny, what would Destiny be at this point? It would be nothing. You wouldn't be able to do much of anything. So, yeah, I mean, they're listening to the fans, which is good, because fans weren't happy, so they wanted that out, so they're taking it out. Good on them. I just wonder. All right, let me put it this way. I wonder if when the game comes out and it turns out to be great, if the always online thing will still be an issue. So if the game turns out to be great and people are playing it all the time, there might be an incentive for them not to do that. And just be like, you know what, we'll keep the always online thing, whatever. Because if there's anything about gamers that is consistent, is that they're inconsistent. And what I mean by that is they will complain and complain and complain. But as soon as a game is out and it's done and people are playing it and enjoying it, all the things he complains about all of a sudden don't matter because they're having fun playing the game. So, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Oh wow, we're at the last story already. This is a quick one. Final story. Ubisoft is developing AI to assist script writers for their games. A part of me gets it. I mean, they said they're doing it for NPCs and auxiliary quest making in games, which, okay, I can see that. But then that also leads to a bunch of issues people have, which is basically, well, this is the eventual leading to AI taking over other humans' jobs, which I'm going to push back a little on. I do get that some people are very afraid that AI is going to take over everything. But AI, you can kind of tell when an AI is writing something, or if a computer has written something from code. It just doesn't have that, it doesn't have that depth to it. But then again, if there's anything about Ubisoft games, is that they're all kind of paint by numbers, so if an AI did it, would you really notice at this point? Be honest, guys. Has the writing in most of the Ubisoft games been really that great? It might be an improvement. So, but I understand why people are pretty hesitant about it, especially with Ubisoft's track record on how they treat their employees too. So that's another thing that people were pointing out on this, which, fair out. Which is fair to point out. But yeah, at that point, I mean, I get the hesitation, but at some point, the way I'll put it this way, the way gamers are is, in order to get the most, they want their games to, they want to make the most out of their games, okay? So they want their games to not only for their $70, they not only want to look great and sound great, they also want to be long. They want to last a long time. That also requires more writers to write the content. If AI is doing, let's say, the NPCs that, like, no one really likes to pay attention to anyway, or whatever, I mean, yeah, maybe a few writers lose their jobs, but at that point, oh god. At that point, like, are you paying attention to the flavor text on things? Not really. So, again, do I want people to lose their jobs? No. But is this really that big of an issue? No, not really. But then on top of that, like I said, I'm being a little snarky, but would you really notice it with Ubisoft's writing in games? I don't think you would. I think if we figured out that Assassin's Creed Origins was entirely done by an AI, would you be surprised? Probably not. But, okay. Then again, I understand the trepidation to it. Okay. Well, that was the final story. Yeah, like I said with this game, Sir Lovelot, I mean, if you like games like Super Meat Boy that are run-based like this, it's not bad, but I just have a hard time with the background and everything, finding my character at times. So, that might be me. Maybe I have to get my glasses checked. But, yeah, it's not bad. I guess for $5 it's not bad. But, anyway. Alright, guys. That is it. That is it for the Weekly Dividend for March 24th. I didn't check what's coming out next week. I don't think anything big is coming out next week, so we'll see what happens with the stories that happen for the following week. Maybe I will do another brand revive and see how that, and come up with something. But hey, we'll see what happens for next week. Well, until then, this is the Weekly Dividend for Capital Games. I am The Wiz. Thank you for listening and watching. We'll talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to this podcast segment. The Capital Games podcast is done every week, and we post it on all your favorite podcast apps, as well as segments on YouTube. If you want to listen to another segment, you can listen to a new one right there on the screen. We also do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. If you'd like, you can go ahead and click on that and see all the movies that we have reviewed from that point. Thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.